Welcome, viewers, to another episode of Inspire Me Today. It's not every day that somebody opens his purse at one phone call. During COVID, if they're COVID warriors, they're also silent heroes who have been working silently and contributing towards global pandemic. Today, my guest is Dayanand Reddy, who's the chairman, managing director of Vasantha Toolcraft. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Dayanand Garu, let us start by understanding about your company, which is Vasantha Toolcraft. What is it into?
Okay, it's a 32-year-old company. We have established it in 1989. I was just 27 at that time. So now, of course, I'm 59. But
as an entrepreneur, you started your journey at a time when, starting business was quite a challenge. What got you into it?
So, answering your first question, so Vasantha Toolcrafts is into manufacturing of precision injection molds for any plastic articles, complex plastic articles, like right from your toothpaste cap, your electrical switch, your cell phone covers, your say water bottle cap, any rigid plastic item need a mold to manufacture that. So that mold we design and manufacture here. Means customer comes to us with a design of an article. For that, we design the mold and then manufacture it, test it, prove it, and then dispatch it to them. Then he produces on a mass scale. Like, for example, he can make 1 lakh pieces per day or say 10,000 pieces per day. So for that, you need a mold. So that mold we design and manufacture. So coming back to your second question. Yes, in those days, though there were kind of job opportunities a little bit, but for us, I hail from a middle class family, little upper middle class, but and from a rural background. So while doing my graduation itself, even little prior to joining graduation itself, I was clear that I should do something little differently. So I was little good in mathematics in those days. So people used to say you'll become an engineer. So those were the days. So, but again, that wasn't enough. So then to get me a free seat in the university, but then I got into a private college, which is Kakatiya Institute of Technology and Science at Warangal. And I'm from its first batch, which is 8084. So right from my graduation days, even during the graduation, I used to spend a lot of time in the laboratories or in the workshops to gain the practical knowledge. And my motto was to do something differently, means become an entrepreneur rather than seeking an employment. So then I did post-graduation, which also deals with the machine tools and which talks about how to create the things, etc. All that. I did post-graduation in the same field, like what we have started here now. So a PG in tool design and manufacture. This I did from an institute in Delhi called Tool Room and Training Center, Delhi. It's a Denmark government-aided institute, and it had a 24 months course. Even if you have to take a holiday, we have to apply for a leave. It's something like on-job training. So full 24 months, and 1/3 of activity was theory, and one third was design, 1/3 was you work on the machines, you create the things. So that gave us very good knowledge in the tool design and manufacture. Then I was picked up by Siemens Mumbai in the campus interviews. So, but then I was there only for 1 year, and I worked very hard. It had a sophisticated tool room in those days. This shop, the area which makes these molds it's called tool room. Some of that name has been used for this because the mold is used as a tool to produce something. Sometimes for sheet metal dies, if a car has got a lot of sheet metal dies. So those are called dies and tools. So to make anything in mass, you need a tool. So that's why the place where it gets produced is called as a tool room. So Siemens had a very nice tool room, highly sophisticated tool room in those days. And that could give me very good exposure, very good knowledge on the latest trends and the kind of designs they used to use for the molds, etc. And I used to spend more than 10 hours every day there, so in the shop. So, and that gave me good knowledge. But my eyes were always, I wanted to come back to Hyderabad because I wanted to be on my own. Then I came back to Hyderabad and then joined a small scale industry to get local acquaintance and also to know Siemens was a big company. That gave me a different kind of exposure. I also wanted to have an exposure from small scale industry. So then I joined a small scale industry in Hyderabad in JD Metal itself, and I worked there for 1 year. Then I went to APSFC, that is called State Finance Corporation in those days. And we spoke to them, and the project cost was about 15.5 lakh rupees in those days. And our equity required was on 3:1 basis. It was about 3.9 lakh. And I had chosen one partner. So we both had only 1 lakh each, which was 2 lakhs. And we needed 3.9. So then the official suggested that SIDBI extends soft loans, which can be treated as the equity from the promoters. So we approached SIDBI, and then after some pursuance, etc., then they have sanctioned 1.9 lakh rupees. So that's how about 9 months it took to get about 11 lakh rupees loan, 11.5 or whatever, 11.6 to be precise. And then that loan we have repaid within 4 years. And that plant, we started in a rented premises. It wasn't in our own land and building. From Balanagar, we moved to GD Metla in 96 after constructing a small building. Then again, somewhere in 96 itself, we went for another small expansion for importing one advanced machine from Switzerland. And in those days, that machine was costing 50 lakh rupees and customs duty was 55%. But that was called CNC machine, means computer numerically controlled milling machine. But today I can attribute all our growth to that machine. And then we have realized what an advanced machine can contribute to the growth of a company. Then we slowly started investing on such equipment, on advanced equipment. So today we run 3 plants and we have automatic robotic operations also. And when we started, we had just a few basic machines, 4 basic machines and about 10 people. But today we employ more than 500 people and host of machines, CNC machines and quite advanced from Switzerland, imported from Switzerland, Germany, Japan. And as I mentioned, we have 3 robotic lines which can run in lights off operation. Means you can close the door and you don't need to have any people. The machines will operate in the night. In the day, people are there to plan for the night and again for the next day morning and check what has been done in the last night. So we just operate about 7 or 8 machines with 4 people throughout the day, which means they come in the day and 24 hours those machines run. It's like that.
So, sir, that, the very fact that it took 9 months for you to get the loan, start with rented accommodation and then build it up. That just shows the times, you have started your entrepreneurship to where you have come today. What I would like to understand is, you rightly said, that one decision of yours to buy that advanced machine, the CNC machine, which was costing 50 lakhs those days, changed the game for you. And today, again, as MSME, I'm sure you're also again at the same crossroad where, you need to go, companies, these MSMEs, will have to up their game. What is your thoughts about it?
Yeah, one is to keep on upgrading why a customer should come to you. He has to come to you for the quality, for the right price, right delivery schedule. So price, okay, it's a kind of a relative term based on the market conditions and your overheads, your investments in the factory, you may decide your price. And the third thing is the quality. So unless you give him the good quality, he's not going to come back again. And not only coming back, first of all, you need to prove whatever you have accepted. So for that itself, you need to have a good setup, a good equipment, which can give that quality and satisfy the customer's requirement. So for that, I would say that we need to keep on upgrading our technology. At least once in 2 years or 3 years, you look back, what you have, is this enough? You need to invest on the new technology. Most of the times it's imported technology, so imported equipment. So unless you do that, otherwise you will be kind of lagging behind compared to your competitors.
I'll take a step back. You said you spent when you were with Siemens, you spent a lot of time, in the tool room.
Yeah.
What was drawing you towards design? Because tooling is all about designing. Was there an artist inside you who was an engineer on top and an artist inside?
Yes. So what happened actually while doing my post-graduation? So we have different subjects. Like as I said, the tools dealing with sheet metal are called dies or press tools. The tools dealing with plastics are called molds. So before even a molds subject started, my professor came to me and he was saying, in the batch we were supposed to make one mold, batch of 10 people, and in the workshop in the next 3-4 months, 4 months time, we are supposed to make a small mold which is about say 1 foot cube, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot for a plastic article. So that was a hanger hook which is used in European railways. So he brought that sample to me and then he said, you need to design this mold and we are going to, if you have any doubts, we are going to clarify that. Then I used to study the books, I used to consult my seniors, my other junior professors, etc. All that. Then I've designed it. So then once I completed my design, so after other people also, they have completed their own exercises. Then at that point of time, my professor said that we are going to manufacture this mold in the workshop, the design done by Dayanand. So which means I have to supervise even the manufacturing. So that design was accepted by my professor's team. And then they said this mold will be manufactured. So that gave me a lot of design and manufacturing exposure, both the exposures. So, and in the next 4 to 5 months, we have made that mold before leaving that institute. And we have handed over that mold to the institute and then we left that. So, which, what I'm trying to say is, so that's how it made me, right from there itself, it made me kind of a molds person or a molds man. So like that.
It is very important, very interesting you bring this point up. Yeah. How you used your work in college or assignment or project in college, yeah, which ended up, shaping your career. It's very unfortunate that, in my interaction with college, especially engineering college students, I come across where they take the projects, very light-hearted, and they tend to, copy from, either. I mean, the common joke going on is they go to Amir Pate, pick up a project and give it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what do you have to say about it? Because in your case, very specifically, you use that opportunity to design, do a project which turned your, turned you into an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah. So in some of the premier institutes, especially at the post-graduation level, it may not be the case what we have said, but in some of the local institutes which are around here or which are at a district level, etc. So which are not having a good staff. See, first of all, you need to have a good staff who can guide the people. So the assistant professor or professor, whoever is guiding you, he should have enough knowledge so that the student develops interest and he can pursue the project in the right manner. And even the guide needs to guide him to pursue it in the right manner. But maybe another thing what can be done is institute and industry link up. So today, if these institutes can get linked up themselves with the industries, so industries can give them the live projects. I may be facing some difficulty in my industry, so that I can give it to them as a project. So then I can ask them to develop a solution, so which can be a kind of a practical problem, and then they have to find a practical solution. So it's like that.
What message would you give it to students when it comes to taking, their project seriously?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is okay, I'm graduated almost 40 years back now, 36, 37 years back. So those days are the situation in those days were different compared to what it is today. Today, relatively, parents are relatively rich. So in those days, parents were relatively poor. So for a student, it was a kind of a requirement that he should learn something, he should become something in his life. Today, most of the things they feel that, okay, I mean, my parents have got enough money or whatever, enough property, etc. And so right from childhood, they are exposed to this kind of money matters. And so not only that, so the requirement for him to kind of pursue this kind of things. So people say, they come for interview here. When we ask some basic question, they say, no, sir, I can Google it. So if I ask how many inches are there in a foot, he will say either maybe 12 is the right answer, but he may say some other answer. When I say, no, it's wrong, No, sir, normally I don't remember all this. I Google it. So that total concept itself is changed. So unless you have passion for that trade, that branch of engineering, somebody may be computer science, somebody may be IT or mechanical, civil, whatever. But unless you have the passion to learn something and then excel, it's very difficult. I mean, how much professors or teachers can counsel you? So to some extent, yes, they can help you, but you need to have your own. So for that again, maybe parents can help or their close siblings can help. So they also need to put an eye on their children, so whether they're going in the right path or not. So, but of course, few children are doing very well, and but not many children, because as I said, we get some of the children, they don't even know the basics. They come for interview at our place, they don't even know the basics.
So coming to your entrepreneurial journey, you started off working with Siemens, and then you became an entrepreneur. Now, this is one dilemma which many of the aspiring entrepreneurs have. Should we get some work experience under our belt before we jump into entrepreneurship, or directly jump into entrepreneurship from college? What would you suggest to them? What would be your advice?
No, absolutely. So it is not that see, some neighbor or some known person has become an entrepreneur, so I should become an entrepreneur. So your thinking should not be like that. So unless you have that burning passion inside, you cannot become an entrepreneur. So somewhere in the third year of engineering or fourth year of engineering, your mind will tell you are good in what. So whether you should go for employment, whether you should become an entrepreneur, or you should become something else. So based on that, you can pursue your career. But I would never say that immediately after graduation, you should venture into the business. Once you have decided the domain, you increase your knowledge in that domain. So for example, in my case, it was kind of machine tool, or say precision machining. So which I learned through tool design and manufacturing post-graduation. Then I've spent some time in the industry. So I've increased my knowledge levels in that. And then I slowly ventured into it. But right after the college, right after the graduation, because first of all, nowadays, the knowledge levels are quite low. And what you are taught in the college at graduation level, it's a kind of a superficial. You are touched upon every subject, but you are not a master in any of those subjects. So you choose one subject, become a master in that, and then venture into becoming an entrepreneur. That's what I would say.
Perfect. That's a very good advice for all the aspiring entrepreneurs who will be watching this show. MSME is also, India, as the Prime Minister is aiming for, making India a $5 trillion economy, and MSME is going to play a major role. It is the backbone of Indian economy. What challenges do you see MSME facing, and what needs to be done to make India reach that destination of becoming a $5 trillion economy?
Fortunately and luckily, this government, the present government, is taking a lot of initiatives which are kind of promoting or encouraging MSME industries. Definitely, I mean, compared to what it was about, say, 10 years back or 20 years back, today, there's a lot of encouragement as far as the schemes promoted by the central government are concerned. In fact, there's a separate, many departments have been created after this government came into power. But ultimately, again, you need to have that passion. So there's a lot of kind of importance given for skill development now. So they're trying to develop this skill, not only for kind of getting the employees for the industries, but also the entrepreneurship development. But as far as the schemes are concerned, so yes, there are schemes. I mean, if you have a good project, there are schemes and there's a good encouragement. But at the same time, as I said, you should have that burning zeal inside. Then only things can become successful. So yeah, today money is available. I mean, if somebody wants to start an industry, but at the same time, I mean, there's no free money again. There's no free meal. So this government had seen to it that money is not given just like that. So it's always kind of, they go through the projects perhaps, and for a viable project, definitely there's a good support. And MSME today, it's a backbone of any economy. So in fact, we need a lot of MSMEs. But again, as I said, the entrepreneur should be serious enough so to pursue and to take forward his industry.
So, COVID has been difficult for all of us. MSME, special industries have suffered, badly, and I would like to know what has been your experience and how have you overcome, the challenge.
Yes, what you said is right for many of the industries, in fact, but luckily, we are kind of spared from that. If you talk about this thing has started somewhere in Feb of 2020. So in the financial year 1920, which ended March 2020, our turnover was little less compared to previous year. That wasn't the case for us, at least for previous 10 years, if you consider. We have been always growing on an average at about 15%. But in the year 2021, we have degrown by about 10%. So because a lot of things were finished, but people could not travel to India, and we export a lot. I mean, we export about 50-60% until 2020. But last year, 2020 and 2021, which is last March 31st ended, 2 months back, we have grown again. We have grown by 20% almost. So which means during the COVID, we could get a good number of COVID-related projects and especially exports. And last year, we exported about 70%. So which used to be normally 50-55%, but we could export 70%. So, but again, it was a challenge because COVID time, employees were little less, means attendance was at about 90-95%. But we could get a good value-added projects. So wherein we have also, my team has put in a lot of hard work, and we could deliver many projects on time, and we have exported most of those projects. So that way, it has not hit us badly.
That's very commendable.
Thank you.
Now coming to, we are told that you opened up your purse when a government hospital came asking for, support for the second wave. You contributed almost about 7 lakh rupees towards ventilators. Could you talk about it? What was it, that, led you to be part of it?
No, normally, I mean, any industry or any business house, once they cross the 5 crores of turnover, you are supposed to spend some money of some portion of your money of your profits towards CSR, corporate social responsibilities, towards any common cause, etc. Mostly, common means most of the times it's a kind of government schools or government hospitals or anything which goes to a common person or common people. So that way we had some funds available in our CSR kitty, which needs to be spent. And then we got this call. Normally, we have been seeing a lot of hospitals are suffering for want of various things. And then when we got this call from Dr. Anita Balla, we said that, okay, this is one opportunity where we can help at least one of the institutes or one of the hospitals. So let's go ahead with that. So in fact, we were not knowing, maybe a few months before itself, we could have done that. But anyway, it's nice of her to approach us, and then we have helped them. We have good satisfaction.
Very true, so you have to be part of the CSR initiative. So is your company looking at including healthcare as a sector to, support under your CSR activity?
Definitely. In fact, in my district, I hail from Nizamabad district. We help a lot of schools in upgrading their furniture, their laboratory, their kind of other, even the classrooms are painted. Entire school gets painted with our funds. So all such things we are doing for the schools. Now maybe in the next wave or in the next schedules, we will be looking at the hospitals. So we have also spoken to, in fact, we are part of CAI. There's a scheme driven by CAI also. So they also said if industries can look at their districts and something can be done for their district hospitals. So we are also looking at helping, we have already committed about 25 lakh rupees towards any of the hospital work in Nizamabad district. We'll be speaking to that collector and then also the district health officials, and then we'll take a call on that. Yeah.
As a company, do you have a CSR department or a CSR representative who will be coordinating?
Normally our HR department takes care of this. So they propose, and then we also have another vice president. We discuss internally, and then we give the internal sanction, so that it goes off.
Finally, and I cannot let you go without asking, which is MyStartup TV is a channel for startups and MSMEs.
Right.
And our whole aim is to showcase businesses which the mainstream media kind of ignores. What are your thoughts about MyStartup TV?
It's a good idea. See, again, see, there are a lot of myths. I mean, some could be good ones, some could be bad ones. So somebody may think that, oh, immediately after doing graduation or post-graduation, one should start off. So whereas if you are showcasing all such stories, all such experiences which entrepreneurs are going through, so this will give a good exposure to the budding or whoever wants to take up this line, becoming employment providers rather than employment seekers. So it's a good initiative by you. And I wasn't knowing, first of all, one such thing exists. So definitely I'll be meeting you in person, and then we'll see what further can be done. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dayanand Garu, for joining us, and we look
Thank
forward
you.
to hosting you on some of our panel talks when it comes for about MSME. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.